Good afternoon, everyone. It's time for Strat-0-Matic Baseball. Steve Aquilon here on a rather chilly Tuesday. Halloween. Happy Halloween. I got out today for the first time in over a week, had to go to the store. I would have had groceries delivered again, but I needed to get an anniversary card for my friend and his wife. Their anniversary is on the 3rd of November. As it is, it may not make it in time. And they'll be leaving for Italy on November 8th, 12-day vacation. And I must say, well, I am happy for them. I am envious at the same time, as I always have wanted to go there. Let me tell you something about the Aquilon. He doesn't fly well, okay? So I don't know if I'll ever make it over there. We'll see, I guess. Running out of time, that's for sure. Not getting any younger. Simon's here. Hey, Simon. Simon relayed to me an interesting story about the Don Larson Perfect Game reunion celebration. Maybe he'll share that with you guys off to the side there while I get this one underway. All right, still working on the chords here. A little gravelly voiced. We will plow ahead. Cincinnati at Philadelphia today, April 15th, 1966, the first of a 3-game series, and this will be the first game of the replay for the Cincinnati Reds, the only team to not have played a game to this point. The Mets played yesterday. They were the other last one. Once again, the New York at Cincinnati opening 3-game series was completely rained out, and that's why these teams are getting a late start. The Reds will have Sammy Ellis on the mound, 12-19 with a rather high 5.29 ERA in 36 starts. Ellis burst onto the scene in 1964, a young man with a bright future, one of the best relievers in the game. Unfortunately, he hurt his arm during this season, the 1966 season, and he was out of baseball by 1969. So a promising career gone awry for Sammy Ellis. For the Phillies, Jim Bunning will take the mound today. And Bunning, of course, a household name, Hall of Famer, longtime Philly. One thing I didn't know about Bunning, I always associated him with the Phillies, and I looked him up. And I did not know that Bunning pitched many years in Detroit before coming to Philadelphia. He came up in 1955 with Detroit. Bunning was a 9-time All-Star, as I mentioned, Hall of Famer, fantastic pitcher, 224 wins, 3.27 career ERA. I could go on and on about Bunning. Led the league in wins in 1957, 20-game winner. Twice led the league in innings, twice led the league in games started. Just a fantastic pitcher. And this year, 19-14, 2.41 in 41 starts, 314 innings thrown by Bunning that year. So that's what we've got for you today. Ellis, the sore-armed Ellis, he may not have been, this was early in the year, he may not have been the sore-armed Ellis yet, but he did not have a good year. Against the Hall of Famer Bunning, it would appear to be a mismatch in Philadelphia's favor. But once again, this is Strat-0-Matic Baseball. And if you don't know by now that anything can happen, well, you just haven't been paying attention. Here's the Reds lineup. Tommy Harper will lead off and play center field. Pete Rose, normally a second baseman, he's going to be at third base today, batting second. It's also funny to not see Rose in the leadoff spot for the Reds. Vada Pinson will hit third and play right field. Gordy Coleman will be the first baseman and bat cleanup. Darren Johnson will be in left field batting fifth. Don Pavletich will do the catching and hit sixth. Leo Cardenas will bat seventh and play shortstop. Tommy Helms at second base hits eighth, and Sammy Ellis hits ninth. Here's the Phillies lineup. John Briggs will be in center today leading off. A little different lineup for them. Looks like Danny Ozark took a page out of today's lineup methodology and decided to get his 3 best hitters up into the 3 spots in the lineup, because Dick Allen at third moves up to the 2 slot. Bill White, the first baseman, moves up to the 3 spot. Johnny Callison in right field drops down to the cleanup spot. John Hernstein, represented by the nameless card, will play left field and bat 5th. Dick Grote at short hits 7th. Cookie Rojas, who had been playing left field so far for the Phillies, he's back at his much better position, his main position, second base, and he'll hit 7th. Clay Dalrymple will catch and bat 8th. It's a name I always got a chuckle out of for some reason, Dalrymple. I don't know why. And Bunning will pitch and hit 9th. Okay. About ready to get underway here. Let me get a little tea. Warm up the cords a little bit. Okay, here we go. Bunning set to work now. Here comes Tommy Harper to lead things off. Harper strides to the plate and stands in from the right side. Bunning gets the sign from Dalrymple. First pitch of the game to Harper is a 6-10. That's a grounder to shortstop X. That'll be Grote, a 3-E22. Here is the roll on the play. A 12, that'll be the error rate. So we're looking at an E22 on the roll of an 8. And Grote makes a fine play, and there's one away. So 6-3X to start things off, and here's Pete Rose. Rose, of course, switch hitter, batting right, Hall of Famer. Well, he isn't, is he? That's another story. It's a story for another day, but certainly a Hall of Fame career. And here's the pitch from Bunning, a 3-9 to the right-hander. Grounder down to second, 2 Hopper to Rojas. He's got it, flips to first, and there's 2 down. And that'll bring up Vada Pinson. Pinson, I'd like to talk about him for a minute. Pinson's a player that I would vote for the Hall of Fame. Pinson is not in the Hall of Fame by, God, how can I say it? By the definitions that exist, he falls just short, and that's probably about right. I kind of think the Hall is a little bit too exclusive. Pinson was a marvelous player. I mean, look him up sometime. His batting numbers are just slightly below the Hall of Fame established entry level, and he was a fine fielder and base runner, so he doesn't lose any points for defense or speed. Anyway, I'll get off of my Pinson soapbox and let him bat. Bunts and winds and deals. 1-8, he grounds it down to short. That's going to be Grote again. Throws across, and an easy 1-2-3 inning for Jim Bunning. And we go to the bottom of the first. Reds nothing, Phillies coming to bat. As Ellis gets loose. The crowd seems a little lively today, don't they? Okay. We'll settle into it. Here come the Phillies now. John Briggs to lead things off. Left-handed hitter playing center field today. Ellis gets the sign from Pavlitic. Here's the windup in the pitch. It's a 1-10. Deep to right field. Back goes Pinson, and that is gone. And John Briggs hits a leadoff home run. Phillies up 1-0 quickly. Let's look at that again. 1-10 righty. Homer to 14, it's an 11, and he gets it out of here. John Briggs. Here's Dick Allen now. Allen, a ton of power. Ellis winds up. Here's the pitch. Pitch to Allen is a 3-10, and he hits a base hit into left field. So single for Allen, and they're all over Ellis here quickly. Allen in asterisk 15. Ellis, I forgot to write his hold in. He's a +1. Pavlitic a +2, so he'll have to be held on and make him a 16. Nobody out. Bill White's going to hit away. Allen held on first. Ellis from the stretch. Here it comes, a 3-11 grounder to second B, but that's where the plus, with the runner held on, that becomes a single with a 2-base advance. So White gets one through the right side with the runner held. Allen steams into third, and the Phillies have runners at the corners. And here comes Johnny Callison. Callison, a left-handed hitter. He's got some pop. The Reds will play the infield back. Here's Ellis' pitch to Callison. That's a 3-4. Strikes him out. So a big strikeout there for Ellis. Now a double play can get him out of the inning. And here comes John Hernstein, recommended by the nameless card. The best I could do. His card's actually probably slightly too good for Hernstein this year. Hernstein, a left-handed batter, end power, a 1-13 base runner, and here's the pitch. That is a 5-11. That's a base hit for Hernstein. That'll drive in another run. That's into center, an open single, so White could try to go to third on that. White a 15, +1, Harper a 16. He's going to third. And he's in there. So an RBI single for Hernstein. Allen scores. White into third. It's 2-0 Phillies. Still runners at the corners. Only one away now. Just getting started here. And here comes Dick Grote. Ellis in a bind here already in the first inning. Trailing by 2. Ducks on the pond. Here's his pitch to Grote. 1-8. There's a grounder to third. That's going to get him out of it. Rose has it to Helms to first. Double play. So Grote hits into the 5-4-3, and that will retire the side. The Phillies jump out with 2 big ones here in the first on 4 hits and leave 2. At the end of 1 inning complete, Phillies 2-0. I had to print up some nameless, well, not nameless cards, some computer-only cards for the Phillies' understaffed bullpen. On April 21st, they would make the big trade that would send Ferguson Jenkins to the Cubs, and they would get Larry Jackson, Bob Buell, and I think somebody else. So anyway, rather than use nameless cards, I made from my computer game the computer-only cards of Roger Craig, and I also threw in Bo Belinsky. Now, Roger Craig pitched in this game in real life. He may or may not pitch. We'll see. But I'll tell you what. If the Phillies are in trouble late and Pinson is up, I'm bringing in this Belinsky card. So you can write that down right now. Here come the Reds in the second. They trail by 2. Bunning ready to work. He'll be facing Coleman, Johnson, and Pavlitic. Bunning winds and deals. The pitch to Coleman is a 3-8, grounder down to first. White's there, takes it to the bag himself, and there's one down. Here's Darren Johnson now. Johnson would later play for the Phillies. .257 with 24 home runs this season in real life. Here's the pitch from Bunning. A 5-3 to the right-hander. That's a ground ball to the pitcher, X. Bunning is a 2-10. And here's the roll on the play. It's a 5. That'll be the error frequency. So on an E10, we have a roll of 6, and Bunning makes a fine play. So Bunning springs off the mound, throws out Darren Johnson, and quickly there are 2 away. And Bunning, in fine form so far today, has set down the first 5 batters he's faced with apparently very little effort. And that'll bring up Pavlitic. Here's the pitch, a 2-6. A deep blast to left field. Hernstein just turns around and watches this fly, and that's a home run for Pavlitic. Oh, my. Let's look at that again. 2-6 right-handed, no doubt about her, halfway up the seats blast. And it's 2-1. Here comes Cardenas, a right-handed hitter. Bunning, ready to go. The pitch is a 2-3, and he walks him. So a 2-out walk to Cardenas. He's an asterisk 16. He'll have to be held on. The Bunning-Dalrymple combination cancels each other out, so that will make Cardenas a 14 if he got the lead. But with 2 outs, actually that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, would it, with the pitcher on deck? He's going to try for the lead. 4 or a 6. 6, he's got it. So he is a 1-14. Here goes Cardenas. Here's Dalrymple's throw, and he's in there on a possible overthrow number. 1-3 is possible overthrow. Let's check Dalrymple's overthrow. He is a 1-7, and he does not throw it away. So he's safe on the steal. Stolen base Cardenas, or Cardenas. That puts him in scoring position for Tommy Helms. Now this is tough here because they could walk him and get to the pitcher intentionally. But do they want to do that this early in the game? I say they don't. They're going to pitch to Tommy Helms. Here's the pitch, a 6-6, and Bunning strikes Helms out, and that'll do it. So that works out well for Philadelphia, as the pitcher will lead off the following inning. But 1 run on a hit for the Reds, the home run by Pavlitic. And we go to the bottom of the second, the Phillies up 2-1. And kind of bad, but not altogether surprising news here from Simon about Adolis Garcia. Okay, as we get ready to roll along to the bottom of the second here, the Phillies will have the bottom of the lineup. Rojas, Dalrymple, and the pitcher. Ellis gets the sign from Pavlitic. The pitch to Rojas is a 5-5. Swung on and missed strike 3. And down goes Rojas. That's the second K of the game for Ellis. Here's Dalrymple now, left-handed hitting catcher. Fine defensive catcher. Wasn't known much for his bat. He did hit .245. And he could take a walk. More walks than strikeouts, and a fine .365 on-base percentage. Here's the pitch, a 3-11. He grounds it down to second base. Helms will take it and throw him out. And quickly there's 2 away here in the second. And that'll bring up Bunning. Bunning, a right-handed hitter. Here's the pitch. That's a 3-4. And he walks. How about that? Ellis loses Bunning. So Bunning down to first on the base on balls, and here comes John Briggs, who led off the first inning with a home run. Okay. Ellis gets his sign from the stretch. That's a 4-10. Fly ball to left field. Playable. Johnson's there, and he puts it away to retire the side. No runs, no hits, 1 left. At the end of 2 complete, it's Philadelphia 2, Cincinnati 1. And Sammy Ellis will lead off the third for the Reds. Ellis, a left-handed batter. Here's Bunning's pitch, a 1-4. Strikes him out. So Ellis flails at 3, and down he goes. And here's Tommy Harper now. Top of the order. 1 away. Here's the pitch. That's a 4-10 to the right-hander. Fly to center field, shallow. Briggs coming on. He's there, and he's got it. And with 2 away, Pete Rose will be coming to bat. Rose bounced out to second in the first. Bunning ready to pitch here, and he winds and deals to Rose. Here it is, a 6-10 to the lefty. Grounder to shortstop X. That's Grote. Grote, a 3E22. The roll on the play is a 2, and that gets by Grote for a single. Grote can't get to it. That would have been a tough play anyway. So Rose is aboard with a 2-out base hit. Rose, not an asterisk stealer. He is a fine base runner, of course. And here comes Pinson. Bunting from the stretch. The pitch to Pinson is a 6-6 tapper to first. White has it, flips to Bunting covering, and that will do it. So no runs, a hit, 1 left on. We've got a tight one so far, 2-1 Phillies as we move to the bottom of the third. Ellis getting ready to go to work here in the bottom of the third. He'll be facing Allen, White, and Callison. Okay, Allen standing in now. Here's the pitch from Ellis. 4-9. Deep blast to left field, and forget about that one. Johnson just turns around and watches it fly, and Dick Allen, it just mashed one way back into the seats in left field. So a towering blast by Dick Allen to lead off the third. And it's 3-1 Phillies. Let's look at that again. 4-9. Boom! Don't even need a split roll on that one. That's a second decker. And here's Bill White now. Here's the pitch from Ellis. That's a 4-10 to the lefty. Fly to left field, playable. Johnson's there. He's got it, and that's the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Johnny Callison. Callison struck out his first time up. Ellis gets the sign from Pavlitic. Here's the pitch. It's a 1-8. It's a base hit up the middle for Callison. The 1-out single for Callison. He'll have to be held on first. That would make him a 16 if he got the lead. Hernstein's going to swing away. He singled in the first. Here's the pitch from the stretch. It's a 6-5. Swung on and missed strike 3. Down goes Hernstein. And with 2 away, Dick Grote will be the hitter. Runner still held. Here's the pitch to Grote. 3-6 to the righty. Grounder to short. Cardenas up the middle, scoops it, throws in time. But the Phillies tack on a run on 2 hits. The mammoth homer by Dick Allen. At the end of 3 complete, they lead it 3-1. So as we go to work in the fourth here, Jim Bunning is staked to a 2-run lead. He'll be facing Coleman, Johnson, and Pavlitic. All right. Bunning set to go. Coleman steps in from the left side, and here's the pitch. A 5-6, fly to left field, playable. Hernstein is there. He makes the catch. 1 down, and Darren Johnson will be the batter now. Bunning, the windup, and the pitch. That's a 3-5 against the righty. Swung on and missed strike 3. And for Bunning, that's his 3rd strikeout of the game so far. 2 away quickly, and here's Pavlitic, who homered in the 2nd inning, accounting for the lone Cincinnati run to this point. Here's the pitch from Bunning. That's a 3-9. Grounder down to second, playable for Rojas. He's got it and throws him out. And a quick 1-2-3 fourth for Jim Bunning. Okay, to the bottom of the fourth we go. Sammy Ellis has concluded his warm-ups. I'll get a little sip of tea here. Still getting over the bronchitis. Did make it outside today for the first time in over a week. The bottom of the Phillies order here in the bottom of the fourth. Rojas, Dalrymple, and Bunning. Ellis ready to go now. Here's the pitch to Rojas. That's a 5-10. Fly to left field. Johnson ranging over and puts it away. Here's Dalrymple now, left-handed hitter. Here's the pitch from Ellis. That's a 4-9. That's deep to right field. That would be a single on a 1 through 11, but on a 19, it is a double for Dalrymple. Dalrymple, a W batter, weak, cannot homer off the pitcher's card. But he does have himself a 1-out double, and that'll bring up Bunning. Bunning, a right-handed hitting pitcher. He's going to swing away. And here's the pitch from Ellis. That's a 5-11, and he does swing away. Bunning lines a base hit into left field. Dalrymple can try to score on that. He's slow. He's a 1 through 9. Johnson a +1. That'll make him a 10. He's going to hold up. We're going to play it conservatively here. So a single by Bunning, the pitcher, puts runners on the corners with one away. And here comes John Briggs. He already has a home run in this ball game. Okay, infield back, looking for two. Ellis from the stretch. That's a 5-6, single to 6, and it's in there for a one-base advance single. That'll drive in a run. And it's 4-1 Phillies. Dalrymple scores. Bunning stops at second. Four to 1, and here comes Dick Allen. And Jack Balshin is already up in the Cincinnati pen. Ellis 6 rated for endurance, so that's not a problem. But he's already surrendered 9 hits here, and we're only in the 4th inning. And here's Dick Allen, who homered in his last at-bat. And here's Ellis from the stretch. That's a 2-3. Fly to center field, playable. That will be caught by Harper. That's the second out of the inning. Runners cannot advance on that. Or a runner on second cannot tag, I should say, more accurately. And with 2 away, here's Bill White. White 1 for 2. 4-1 Phillies now, bottom of the 4th. They've got 2 ducks on the pond. From the stretch, the pitch to White is a 4-5 ground ball to shortstop X. That is Cardenas. Cardenas, a fine shortstop. 2E16. Here's the roll on a 3. He makes a diving play in the hole, flips back to second in time. Oh my God, what a gem by Cardenas. And that bails them out of the inning. So that'll go 6-4X. They get the force there. The Phillies pick up another one on 3 hits. Leave 2. And at the end of 4 complete, it's Phillies 4, Reds 1. All righty. 5th inning. 4-1 Phillies. Cardenas, Helms, and Ellis due for the Reds. Bunning's ready to go now. Bunning winds and deals. The pitch to Cardenas is a 1-7. Fly to center, playable. That's Briggs. He's there to make the catch, and there's one away. And Tommy Helms will be the batter. Helms struck out back in the second. Here's the pitch from Bunning. That's a 3-5. Two-hopper down to third. Allen charging. Throws him out. And with two away, that'll bring up Ellis. God, should I bat for Ellis here? I'm thinking about it. A little too soon, I think. Ellis is going to stay in the game. Here's the pitch, a 2-2. Pop out to second. Rojas is there. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for Bunning. Bunning cruising now. The only blemish through 5 is the home run to Pavlitic. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. The Phillies still leading 4-1. They'll send up Callison, Hernstein, and Grote here in the bottom of the inning. Ellis ready to work now. Gets the sign from Pavlitic, and here's the pitch. It's a 1-8. Base hit by Callison up the middle. Leadoff single for Johnny Callison. He'll have to be held on. And that'll bring up Hernstein, 1 for 2. Left-handed batter, John Hernstein. From the stretch, Ellis pitches a 3-3. Pop up, right side. Coleman's there. He's got it, and there's one down. So Ellis, a 1+1, 3, 8, 16. Callison, a 1-16 held. Callison's going to try for the lead. 3 through 6, he's got it. There he goes, the throw. He is just in there by the skin of his teeth on his 16. Let's double check that. 15. Ellis 1, that's 3. 19, held as a 17. Yep, so he's got the steal. Stolen base, Johnny Callison here with one away. And he scoots into second. And here comes Dick Grote. Grote trying to pick him up now. Ellis, a look back there, now from the stretch. The pitch is a 6-7, and that's going to be a double to 10. It's a two-base single that will drive in another run. And it's 5-1 Philadelphia on the RBI single by Dick Grote. Callison, who stole second, comes in to score. And we got a 5-1 game. And here comes Don Hefner, and that's going to be it for Ellis. He's seen enough. So Ellis lasts only 4 1/3 here today. He allowed 11 hits. 5 runs so far. Runner on first is his responsibility. He walked 1, struck out 2. That's it, 2. And as mentioned previously, Jack Balshin's going to be coming on. And that is not entirely by accident for a couple of reasons. For one thing, Balshin pitched in this game in real life. And for a second, you can see it coming, can't you? I wanted to talk about Jack Balshin just a little bit. This year he had a high 5.49 ERA out of relief, but Jack Balshin, when he came into the league, for several years there, he was considered one of the best relief pitchers in the game. He came up with the Phillies in 1961. He led the league in appearances as a rookie, 65 games, followed by 67, 65, and 71. He was a rubber-armed right-hander who could pitch 5, 6, sometimes 7 consecutive games. Another interesting fact about Balshin is that he had a screwball that he could make break both ways. Okay, now normally a left-handed screwball would break away from a right-handed batter. Balshin's a right-hander. A right-handed screwball would break away from a left-handed batter. A lefty screwball would break away from a right-handed batter, like Jim Brewer, for example. Balshin could spin it both ways. I've never heard of that before. But that is what they say about Balshin. Balshin didn't always see things eye to eye with manager Gene Mauch at the time. Balshin liked to throw that screwball, and how can you blame him? Well, Mauch insisted that he change his style and start batters off with fastballs and sliders and use the screwball only as an out pitch. But as Balshin said, my other pitches aren't that good. Pretty soon I was trying to fight myself instead of the batter. When you do that, you might as well just walk off the mound. Nevertheless, on June 7th, 1965, in Philadelphia versus Los Angeles, Mauch summoned Balshin from the pen. It was the 292nd relief appearance of Balshin's career, breaking the Philadelphia team record held by Jim Constanti. But here is the interesting part of the story. 6 months later, Balshin was shipped to the American League, and shortly thereafter he became part of one of the most famous trades in baseball history. It all came about because the Baltimore Orioles wanted Frank Robinson, and the Reds wanted Balshin. They had been wanting Balshin for years. Talks had been brewing for a year. They had discussed several deals in which Baltimore could acquire Frank Robinson. One such deal involved Balshin. Cincinnati president Bill DeWitt had been coveting Balshin for years. He tried to sign him back in 1955. A year later, a sequence of trades was made. On December 2nd, 65, the Orioles traded Norm Seaburn to the California Angels for outfielder Dick Simpson. 4 days later, the Phillies, looking for a right-handed hitter, sent Balshin to the Orioles for outfielder Jackie Brandt and left-hander Darrell Knowles. And here it comes. Here it comes. Ready? 3 days later, the Orioles traded Balshin, Simpson, and Pappas to Cincinnati for Frank Robinson. And that was what everybody knows pretty much as Milt Pappas for Frank Robinson. But I never knew that the Reds wanted Balshin so badly. He may have been the player. In addition, obviously, Pappas was the key to the deal. But Balshin helped swing the deal because the Reds GM was so infatuated with acquiring Balshin for 10 years. All right, so Balshin in now. Man on first, one down. He's going to be pitching to Rojas here from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Rojas. That's going to be a single to 7 on a 3-8, but it's a liner speared by Rose. So an L5, and there's 2 away. And that'll bring up Dalrymple. 5-1 Phillies here. Just the bottom of the 5th inning. Pull up a chair. Here's the pitch to Balshin. 6-7 to the lefty. That's going to be a single with a 2-base advance. So a base hit Dalrymple sends Grote into third, sliding. And the Phillies have runners at the corners with 2 away, and Jim Bunning will be the hitter. Balshin ready to work from the stretch. 5-10 to the right-handed Bunning, grounder to shortstop X. That's Cardenas, a 2E16. On an 18, Cardenas up the middle, scoops and throws, and that will retire the side. Another run for Philadelphia. On 3 hits, they leave a pair. That's the end of 5 complete. It is Phillies 5, Reds 1. Anyway, I thought that was interesting about Jack Balshin. I'd heard of him, but that's about it. I knew the name, not much more than that. Bunning's throwing a gem here. 2 hitters so far through 5. The homer by Pavlitic, the only blemish on the game, and he's going to pitch to the top of the order. Phillies will have Harper, Rose, and Pinson, who I've already lobbied for this game for Hall of Fame entry. Excuse me. Bunning, the pitch to Harper. 4-7 to the righty. That's a double to 4, but that's going to be caught in center by Briggs. So he gave it a little chase, a little excitement, but Briggs catches it. And here's Pete Rose. Rose standing in from the left side as Bunning winds and deals. On a 4-8, that's a grounder to second base. That's going to be Rojas. He's got it. Flips to White, and that's 2 down quickly here in the 6th. And here comes Pinson. Pinson 0 for 2 today. And here's a 2-6. A base hit up the middle for Pinson. Well, you can't hold Pinson down all game, can you? If you haven't guessed by now, I always liked Pinson. Okay, Pinson in asterisk 15. He has to be held on. And that would make him a 13, and Gordy Coleman will hit away. 2 down now. Coleman 0 for 2. Reds trying to get something going against Bunning. Haven't been able to so far. And here's the 3-5. That's a base hit to center, an open single. That's to center, 2 away. He's held, so 16. That would make him a 15. To center, a +1, a 16. Is he going to try that with 2 outs? With Johnson, yeah, they're trailing by 4. He's not going to try that. So that's a single by Coleman. Pinson will hold up. There's no sense making it out on the bases trailing by 4. Darren Johnson will be the batter with 2 away. He's 0 for 2 today. This is the first jam Bunning's been in. And there is the pitch. It's a 1-4. Foul ball left side. That's going to be Dick Allen. He's there. He gloves it, and that will retire the side. So the Reds fail to come up with anything on 2 hits. They leave a pair. And we go to the bottom of the 6th, 5-1 Phillies. And Simon remembers Knowles. Oh, yes, we discussed that in a previous game. In fact, feel free to relay the story in the chat, Simon, for those that missed it. You know what I'm talking about. The World Series. We go to the bottom of the 6th here. The Phillies will have the top of the order. Briggs, Allen, and White. Balshin going back out there. Briefly, Knowles, I'll touch on it briefly. Knowles pitched in all 7 World Series games in one of the 70s Oakland A's World Series, which at the time no one had ever done. Brandon Morrow would do it many years later. Balshin ready to work to Briggs. Here's the pitch to Briggs, a 1-4, and that's ball 4. He walks him. So a leadoff walk to Briggs. And here's Dick Allen, who's already homered in this game. 2 for 3 today. Balshin from the stretch. The pitch to Allen is a 5-7. That's a single with a 2-base advance. So Allen blasts a single into right center. Briggs around. He steams into third. And the Phillies have runners at the corners with nobody out here. And here comes Bill White. Infield back, double play depth. No, they're going to bring the infield in. They can't afford to get any further behind. Infield in. 5-7. White rips a double down the left field line. Herrnstein running it down. That's going to score 1 at least. Coleman can try to score. No. What am I doing here? Johnson running it down. Double White. That scores 1. Allen can try to score. Allen a 15. Johnson a +1. 16. He's coming. Allen rounding third. Here's the throw to third to the plate. He's in there. That's a 2 RBI double for Bill White. Sorry about that. That scores Briggs and White. And it's 7-1. We've got a blowout now. And Balshin is fatigued. So he's done. He doesn't last long. 2/3 of an inning. 3 hits allowed. 2 runs so far. A walk, no strikeouts. Previous 5 runs all charged to Ellis. The run on second. These 2 runs and the runner on second are Balshin's responsibility. We're going to have to bring in a new pitcher here for Cincinnati. With Callison, we've got left-handers coming up, and Grote. What do they have? The Reds are going to bring in a left-hander, Ted Davidson. Let's see if a lefty has any better luck against this lineup. Davidson, a 3.90 earned run average and 85 innings of work. And here's Davidson now. He'll be facing Johnny Callison. 7-1 Phillies. Man on second. Nobody out. Here's the pitch to Callison, a 3-4. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And down goes Callison. That's the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Herrnstein. This nameless card no longer really applies to the situation, however, as I was only looking at it versus right-handed pitching. So we're going to take him out and get another left fielder for the Phillies. Could be Gonzalez. He's a good defensive player anyway. He's a left-handed batter, but heck, they're leading by so much. Who cares at this point? Tony Gonzalez is going to come in and bat and take over in left field. So Tony Gonzalez, who's a 2E5, that improves their defense. 0 throwing arm. Okay, we're set to go here. Gonzalez batting against Davidson. Runner on second, 1 away. Here's the pitch from the stretch. We've got a dice out. Let's try that again. A 5-9. Weak power, so that's going to be a single. Did you see that? 5-9 left-hander, home run on an N. That'll be a double asterisk single, however, for Gonzalez, and that's going to drive in White. And it's 8-1. And here's Grote. Davidson from the stretch. The pitch to Grote is a 6-12. Tapper to the righty. Tapper to the pitcher, X. Davidson, a 3E17. Here's the roll on the play. 13, that's the error range. E17 on the roll of a 9. And that's going to be a double play. How about that? Davidson pounces off the mound, down to second, back to first. That's a 1-4-3, and that retires the side. So a fine double play started by the pitcher, Ted Davidson. However, the Phillies tack on 3 more on 3 hits and now lead 8-1 after 6 complete. And the way Bunning's pitching, it might as well be 20. And yes, Simon has posted the story there. Go ahead and check that out. The celebration of the Don Larson perfect game. 6 in the books here. 8-1 Phillies. Bunning pitching a gem. Pavlitic will lead it off for the Reds, and here's the pitch. That's a 4-7. It's a double to 4, but that's going to be playable and caught in center by Briggs, who puts it away for the first out. And here comes Cardenas. 0 for 1 today. Walked and stole second in the second inning. Bunning delivers. And that's a 3-7. A single to a 1, but that's going to be a liner speared by Dick Allen. So a soft liner hit right at Allen, and quickly there's 2 away. And that'll bring up Tommy Helms. Helms 0 for 2 today. Bunning the windup. The pitch to Helms is a 3-5, and that's a grounder down to Allen as well. He charges this one, throws in time, and a quick 1-2-3 for Jim Bunning in the 7th. So Bunning very much on his game today. The Phillies will come up batting in the 7th with an 8-1 lead. And they'll send up the bottom of their order, Rojas, Dalrymple, and the pitcher. And then Cone goes out there and throws a perfect game. I mean, what are the odds? Davidson ready to work to Rojas, the windup and the pitch. That's going to be a 2-9 against the lefty. Tapper down to third, Rose charging, he gloves it, throws across in time, and there's 1 away. Here's Dalrymple. Dalrymple's 2 for 3 today. Doubled and scored in the 4th. Here's Davidson's pitch. 4-7, and he loses him, ball 4. So a walk to Dalrymple. He's been on 3 times in 4 plate appearances today. Bunning's going to go ahead and lay one down. He's a B bunter. That is a 9 on a B. And that's a successful sacrifice bunt for Jim Bunning. That's going to go 2-3. Sacrifice hit Bunning. Dalrymple to second, and with 2 away, John Briggs will come to bat. Briggs 2 for 3 today, homered back in the 1st inning. Here's the pitch from Davidson. That's a 3-7, ball 4. He loses Briggs. 2 walks in the inning by Davidson. And here's Dick Allen. Davidson, a 3-rated reliever as far as endurance goes. That's where he came in. Oh, God, I almost hate to let him pitch to Allen. I guess at 8-1, it doesn't make much difference, does it? Here's the pitch to Allen, a 1-4. That's crushed to left field, way back. A 3-run blast by Dick Allen. And Dick Allen has just hit his 2nd home run of the ball game, and it is 11-1. So Briggs scores, Dalrymple scores. 3 big ribbies for Dick Allen, who has 2 home runs in the game, both no doubt monster shots. Davidson will face White, lefty on left. Here's the pitch to White, a 5-11, a base hit into the left, an opposite field single for White, and Davidson isn't fooling anybody. And here comes Hefner. Enough is enough. So Davidson only lasts 1 1/3. Two hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. We'll have to find a new red pitcher. At this point, we'll just go with the long man, I guess. Strat-0-Matic. Give me a second here. I want to check something. I'm not even sure how you say his name. Not Bart? I want to call him Not Bart. Damn Not Bart. Davidson's done. He was horrible. I mean, let's just be blunt, right? Of course, on the other hand, the Phillies have been hitting every pitcher thrown at them today, really. Okay, Not Bart ready to go. Here's Callison now. 1-6, a single to 6, but on a 9, that's a liner speared by Coleman. And that will retire the side, mercifully, as the Phillies tack on 3 more on Dick Allen's monster 3-run shot. And it's 11-1 Phillies after 7. This has turned into a laugher. 3 runs to Davidson. We can close the book on him. And now the only excitement left is, can Bunning get the complete game? We'll have a hitter for Not Bart. I should have maybe done a double switch there. I don't know who the hell I'd have done it with. Not a big deal. Not Bart pitched a third of an inning, retired his only batter. So we'll have to get another pitcher up for the Reds now. That'll be Hank Fisher. They're running out of pitchers. And they're going to send up a batter for Not Bart. And Art Shamsky is going to get an at-bat here. I don't know why. He played in this game in real life, for one thing. I always liked that name for some reason, Shamsky. So pinch hitting for Not Bart. Art Shamsky, a left-handed hitter. Bunning ready to deal now. Wind up and the pitch to Shamsky. On a 5-7, swung on and missed strike 3. So down goes Shamsky. 1 away, and here's Tommy Harper. Bunning firing on all cylinders here today. Here's the pitch to Harper, a 3-4, tapper back to the mound. Bunning knocks it down, picks it up, throws to first in time. And here's Pete Rose. Rose 1 for 3. Bunning winds and deals. That's a 5-9 to the lefty. Swung on and missed strike 3, and Bunning fans 2 in the 8th, and he just keeps on rolling. 1-2-3 inning for Jim Bunning. It is 11-1. And Hank Fisher will come on now to pitch for Cincinnati. Fisher, a righty. Tony Gonzalez will lead things off. He was inserted into the game for Herrnstein and singled in the 6th. Fisher winds and deals. Pitch to Gonzalez is a 6-5. Grounder to shortstop X. That's Cardenas. A 5 on a 2, and that's a fine play by Cardenas. That'll go 6-3X, and Gonzalez is retired. Here's Dick Grote now. Here's the pitch from Fisher. It's a 2-6 homer to five. That's deep to left field. Johnson going back to the track, to the wall. That's gone. That's a home run, Dick Grote. And the Phillies continue to pour it on. Oh my. Let's look at that again. 2-6 right-hander. Homer to 5. The roll is a 2. And Grote does indeed loft it out of here. And it's 12-1. And here's Rojas. Fisher pitching to Rojas. Here's the pitch, a 2-7. Base hit up the middle for Cookie Rojas. And it doesn't matter who the Reds bring in here to pitch. The Phillies are hitting them. That'll bring up Clay Dalrymple now. Dalrymple 2 for 3. Also has a walk. Here's Fisher's pitch from the stretch. That's a 3-9. Grounder to second. That's going to be Helms to Cardenas, back to first. Not in time. That'll be a force play. That'll go 4-6. Rojas is forced. Dalrymple safe at first. And here's Bunning with 2 away. Bunning 0 for 1. He drew a walk. 1 for 2. He had a base hit. He drew a walk, singled, sacrificed bunt in the 7th. 1-9, swung on and missed strike 3. Fisher strikes out Bunning. But the Phillies tack on another one on 2 hits. The home run by Dick Grote. And it's 12-1 as we go to the 9th. So like I say, the only tension, the only thing of interest worth seeing at this point is whether Bunning can finish the game. And I don't think there's even much doubt of that at this point. With an 11-run lead. Hasn't allowed a hit since the 6th. He has the heart of the Reds order to go through, though. Pinson, Coleman, and Johnson as he gets ready to wind and deal to Vada Pinson. Here's the pitch. That's a 4-9. He walks him. Ball 4. Pinson works out the walk. Pinson will not be held with such a big lead. He's a 1 through 15, but he's not going to try that, trailing by this many runs. Here's Coleman. Bunning from the stretch. The pitch to Coleman is a 4-9, and he loses him. Bunning suddenly has walked the first 2 batters here in the 9th inning. And one more hit or walk will fatigue Bunning. And Roger Craig is getting loose in the Philly pen. Okay, here we go. First and second, nobody out. Darren Johnson coming to bat. Here's Bunning's pitch. That's a 6-4. Fly ball to center field X. That's Briggs. He's a 3-9. Here's the roll on the play, a 5 on a 3. And that's going to be a single. Briggs can't get it. That's going to score 1. Coleman's into third. So an RBI single for Johnson. Pinson comes around to score. And Bunning is fatigued. Normally I'd pull him right away, but I'm going to let him go one more and see what he can do. Roger Craig needs a little more time anyway. So Bunning fatigued now, pitching to Pavlitic. Here's the pitch on a 5-3, grounder to the pitcher X. Bunning is a 2E10, a fine fielding pitcher. Here's the roll on the play. This could be 2. It is a 9 on an E10. Bunning jumps off the mound, fires down to Rojas, back to first, double play, and that is the ball game. So Bunning does indeed complete the 1-4-3 double play. He does complete the ball game. He pitches to the last batter, fatigued. I just wanted him to get the complete game. If Pavlitic had done anything, I would have brought in Craig. But Bunning goes all the way in a laugher. That's what, 5, 12 to 1. 12 to 2, I'm sorry. They got one in the night. 12 to 2, the final. Fisher in his inning allowed 2 hits, 2 runs. The story is Bunning. In his 9 innings, 2, 3, 4. Bunning pitched a 5-hitter. So a superb game by the Hall of Famer. He walked 3, 2 of them in the 9th inning when he was tiring. He struck out 3, 5. Allowed 2 runs. Bunning, obviously, the win, his first of the year. Sammy Ellis takes the loss. For the Reds, 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors. For the Phillies, 12 runs on 18 hits, no errors. So a slugfest, batting practice for the Phillies today. Thank you, Simon. Yes, I'll be talking to you during the World Series game. We're about a little under an hour away from World Series Game 4 on Halloween. And all the little haunters should be coming out soon. It's just a little after 4 p.m. here on the West Coast. Anyway, that's your final. And now that everyone has played a game, the Reds were the last team to play, I can put my standings together. Go ahead and hit that like button for me, if you would please. That'll help me out. And that's your final here from Philadelphia, as the Phillies crush the Reds 12 to 2. I'll be back with you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific. In the meantime, this is Steve wishing you all a pleasant good evening and enjoy the World Series. Take care, guys.